Okay, hello everybody. We're going to be shooting a video today on how to dump the tank, the waste tank, on a TEMSA TS35. We're going to start with a couple of preliminary things, what you need to do. Primarily, we're going to cover what you're going to do when you're here at the California location, but we'll also cover a few things about if you're out on the road and what to do. So this is for both detailers and drivers, so if you need the information on how to do this, we'll show you how to get started and what you need to do and how to do it. So first of all, we'll talk a few things about safety. You're dealing with hazardous waste, you're dealing with human waste here, so you want to have some safety equipment, which you want to always have gloves, a mask, and safety goggles.
And glasses.
The other thing I want to talk real quick about, and this is only for dumping off-site, is if you're out on the road with this, a multi-day charter or something away from the yard, you always want to dump in an approved location. You can search and find RV dump stations, some truck stops, or places where there's lots of tour buses will have facilities. Los Angeles, Las Vegas, those kinds of places, they'll have truck stops with a whole setup where you can pull in and dump it. But the point is that you do not want to dump into just a sewer grate that you find, let's say, in a parking lot of a store or something. You do not want to do that. It's illegal. You'll get heavy fines for both the driver and the company because of dumping hazardous waste. So that's probably the biggest thing when you're away from the site here, is find an approved dump location. So a couple of the tools that you're going to need, well, actually one of the tools is this hose right here, which is going to connect to the tank into the sewer. Second up, we backed it up kind of catty corner into the area here with the handicap stalls. If you want to come over and see where we're going to dump into, there's a little hole right here. This grate comes up, it says sewer on it. There's a little cap that goes on the top that just pulls out, and so the sewer line, that plastic hose I showed you, is going to go into there. Okay, so the first thing to access this is there's a, if you look down here, there's a little knob. It looks like the head of a ratchet or something. You can use the head of a ratchet, but there's also a little thing provided by TEMSA that you can stick in there to turn. It's already unlocked, but you just turn it to the left, and there's two little pins on either side, and they should release. So what you do is, once that's turned, you pull. Now you see on this side where it comes up easily. See that? Okay, if you look right there, don't pull on this really hard. There's a latch right here, so you have to pull it out, and sometimes it. There we go. Now, right behind here, and there's a little sign that says latch. Right behind here, you pull on this, and it releases. And it comes up. So the system is pretty simple. This hose right here is the dump hose. There's a valve handle right here. To release it, you're going to pull down, but we're not going to do any of that until we get everything hooked up. This here is the hose for the water, because there's basically two parts of the system: the fresh water and then the holding tank. So this is where you would connect the hose right here, which we'll do in a second. And this is a valve that will, once you turn it up, it'll allow the fresh water to flow in. Okay, so right now it's in the closed position. So the hose is over here. So what you want to do, we'll go ahead and have him connect that up. It just spins on there like that, just like a regular garden hose connection, which it is. Now what you can do at this point is go ahead and turn on the hose, because the water will not flow in because we have this valve right here. So if you want to go ahead and turn it on. Hopefully it has it might spray out of there. I hope it has a little rubber gasket in there. We'll find out here shortly. It's going to leak a little bit. Okay, so now we have the freshwater tank or the freshwater hose connected up. So we're going to go ahead and connect our dump hose. The large hose that's going to connect to the dump valve. It is going to require a little bit of eyesight. You got to kind of get down there. Turns on. Okay, looks like we got it. And then initially it looks like a short hose, but this thing is a kind of an accordion, so it stretches out. Stretch that out and go ahead and pull it. Go ahead. And it just connects right into there. There's really not a connection, it just sits there, obviously. So. Okay, so once we've got that all connected, we can go ahead and open the dump valve, which is the big valve right there, the big black handle. You just pull that. You can hear it starting to go. We'll also, simultaneously, we want to turn on the fresh water, which is going to start filling our tank, the freshwater tank. So go ahead and open the valve for the fresh water. So now fresh water is flowing in. So let's go over here and take a look. Go ahead and pull the head of that out. It looks like it's probably wasn't too full, so it sounds like most of it has already come out. So it probably wasn't too full to begin with. So it's already done. But what we want to do is we're going to open that freshwater fill, and we want to flush it a little bit because it'll now see it's starting to flow over. You see the water starting to come out. So we're pretty much almost full. Now so we go ahead and let that run for a second because you kind of want to flush out any chunks or anything like that from the dirty side, I guess I'll call it. Because what happens is when the freshwater tank fills, when it gets all the way full, it then overflows into the dirty side, and you want that to flush just a little bit. So we'll let that run just a second, make sure all the big pieces are out, and then we can go ahead and shut it off. Go ahead and shut off the freshwater fill, and then shut off the dump valve. There we go. Okay, so now everything is empty. The freshwater side is full. We've turned off our freshwater valve here, and we've turned off the dump valve here. So everything's closed. So now what we want to go ahead and do is disconnect the freshwater hose. So we'll go ahead and disconnect that. Also, just want to make sure that the hose is off, which we've already turned it off, but just make sure that obviously the water is turned off at the source over there. Then we'll go ahead and disconnect the dump hose here. You want to go ahead and make sure not to spill anything out. So you're going to disconnect this side first. And kind of walk it down so nothing spills. You can see there's some residual water left in there. Just going to collapse it down. I don't know if you can hear that with the draining into the thing. Sewer. Then you're going to put the the small cap back in. Go ahead and put it, just place it back in there. And the main cap on top just sets back on there. Okay, so we've put away the hose. We've got everything disconnected. We're just going to double check, make sure all of our valves are closed. So we've got that closed, that's closed, so we're good to go. We can go ahead and shut this, which we just pull this down. Shut it. We also want to make sure that it's, double check that it's not loose. So we're good there. And the last thing that we're going to do is there's a little chemical. You've probably seen the water's blue when you flush the toilet. So we're going to put that in and we'll show you that right now. Okay, so over here on the front left, right underneath the driver. We're going to open this compartment. It's where the little blue tablets are. So right here. So we'll usually put like 2 tablets in there. We also have some liquid stuff if we have to use that in a pinch, but normally we'll use these tablets right here, 2 or 3 of those. So we just open this up. We'll put in 2 of those. There we go. Okay, so we're now inside the bus. So what you want to do is make sure the bus is started and running, because we're going to actually dump the little tablet down into the tank. So in order to do that, the bus has to be running. So you're just going to take that, put it in, go ahead and hit the flush button.